4th spring training with the Mets. Tim Tebow has a first. Yesterday, the 32-year-old Heisman winner hit his first spring training home run, which was also his first extra base hit in spring training. Tebow signed with the Mets in 2016, but has yet to make his major league debut. So, Shannon, I start with you. Does Tebow have a future in baseball?
Not the major. A career minor leaguer, not what he chose to be. I mean, normally by this time, everybody was like, okay, no, it's over for you. He's about to be 33 years of age, isn't he? Last year at 32, he hit 163. Name the guy that would have been invited back after hitting a number like that, Jenny.
Well, if he was a bonus baby who just had a bad year up the minor league ladder.
He's had bad years.
Okay.
Skip, he's 30 plus. Skip, I would concede this. If he's 19, 20, I'll give you that. You got me. Give him a couple more years. Skip, he's about to be 33. Now, here's a guy.
Go ahead.
As big as he is, he doesn't hit for power. You Skip said, oh, look at him. He hits a home run every 52 at-bats. If he was in the majors, that's 7th worst. Slugging percentage for a guy his size. Okay. What's Tebow, 6'2.5", 6'3", 250? 338. That's in the minors now. Okay. That's the big boys. The big boys go up there. That's like averaging 6 points a game on JV. And just say, man, I deserve my shot at the varsity. 3rd worst, 338 slugging percentage. Has his power stood out? What has stood out other than his name? Say his name is Stanley Smith. He hitting 163 at 32. Where is he at next year, Skip? Okay, let's say his name David Durrance. And he's slugging 333. Where is he at?
His name isn't whatever.
Exactly. So in other words, it's not his ability.
Tim Smith or Joe Jones. It's Tim Tebow.
Oh, okay. So it's not his ability, it's his likability. You see what I'm saying? You see what I did there, Jenny? That's what it is. Okay, go ahead, Skip. You take it away.
Maybe it's his it factor.
What it?
Maybe it's the fact that wherever he was in college or pro football or high school football, he won and he won and he won some more. And maybe it's that his agent, I'm going to give you this, you could say this is complete hypocrisy, but his former agent, Brody Van Wagenen, is now the GM or the sort of, he's running the New York Mets. I don't know exactly what his title is, but he's the primary decision maker for the New York Mets. Tim Tebow is in the Mets organization. But Brody at least knows.
We dissect the latest.
When the lights are the brightest, this guy has always been at his greatest.
Okay, I'm waiting for it.
Okay, so, well, you did see it. So what do we have? Let's put this in scope here. Let's put it in perspective.
Now, put it in a vacuum. You love vacuums.
I don't need a vacuum. I just need what happened to Tim Tebow. This is unheard of. Nobody would have ever had the audacity or the guts or the backbone to even try this. And that is, he stopped playing baseball at age 17 as a high school junior. Okay. So he stunted his baseball growth because he just went all football. He made all-state in baseball as a junior in high school in Jacksonville. And then, all of a sudden, he abandons baseball until football abandoned him. And I still say someday, 50 years from now, somebody, some expert will look back at this and say, wait a second, Tim Tebow led the Denver Broncos from 1-4 to a division title and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in a playoff game, and he never got another chance to start in the NFL?
He got a chance.
He never got a chance.
He didn't get blackballed. He got opportunity.
Opportunity. Did he start another game at quarterback? No, he never got a chance. And it was sad, and it was pathetic, and it was egregious.
You know what? I love how you do this. You said, what other guy would subject himself to this? A lot of guys. If I'm a doctor or lawyer and I can't find work in my said field, what am I gonna do, Jenny? I'm gonna find a way to provide and do something else. He can't find in his said field, which is football, but he has the luxury of being a TV personality. He can go right back to his job, talking about.
No, he had the guts and the gumption to say, okay, NFL, and I was there at his little audition here at USC. Talked to him right after it, and I'm not close with Tim, but he said, this is my way. I'm going to paraphrase it. He just said, this is my opportunity to show the NFL they were wrong. I'm going to have to take a completely different path into another sport. Well, it's impossible. Baseball is the hardest game to learn to play. It's why you have to spend, everybody spends X years in the minor leagues.
But Skip, how
Wait, time out. Okay. So think about his growth in baseball. Effectively, he's 22 years old in baseball years because most of the kids start at 18. Some don't start. If you do want to do college, a lot of the Vandy kids will stay 3 years.
Right. Well, you got to stay. Once you go,
Once you don't. But even if we do bonus baby out of high school, high draft pick, he's the equivalent of a 22-year-old because he's only in his 4th minor league season.
Right.
So what happened, Mr. Sharp? He goes Class A, and then his second year he went AA. And what happened at AA? He made the All-Star team.
Well, they take 5 guys for a roster.
Okay.
So they ain't saying much.
He made the All-Star team. And again, he hit for some power because he had 734 OPS on base plus slugging. And it ranked 26th in the Eastern League. And you could say, oh, well, that's not very good. But they're a bunch of players. So it was way above average, and that combined with his clutch hitting stats, plus he's a decent defender. He can play left field. He can play a little right field.
Well, they don't put the best athletes in left field. They put them in right field and center. So what's he playing?
He's functional on defense. He could play big league left field because it was once called by Lee Mazzilli the idiot's position. I know this is way before your time,
Yeah.
but the point was, he's good enough to play at the next level, which is the
No, he's not.
So he got AAA last year.
And how'd he do?
And he broke his hand. You know.
Okay. Has a baseball player ever broken his hand?
Sure.
Because I want to make sure. I want to make sure that the things that are happening to him is only unique to him. That no other player. Because I can assure you, there are more players that in the minors that don't make it up to the majors as opposed to the other way around.
Okay.
So what's happening to him is not just unique to him.
So what did we see yesterday? He's facing a guy named Alex Wilson, who's been on 7 big league teams, and will probably be in the Tigers, relief rotation. He'll be in the bullpen. So what happened? He goes oppo because that's where his power is, and he jacked it. He hit it pretty good, and I'm sure Brody Van Wagenen and other people in the Mets hierarchy said, "Okay, I see that.
I don't see it.
You can see it.
Stop it."
And you don't think if the Mets were in a playoff race and you could even use Tim Tebow as an occasional pinch hitter?
Stop it, Skip.
Hey, you don't think he'd get big hits? It's all he does. Look at him run around the plate.
Oh, my goodness. Skip, he's not a professional hitter. Guys that they put in that role, pinch hit, that come in, they're professionals. Lou Williams is a professional scorer. Guys that come in, and James White is a professional football player. He doesn't start, but he comes in and fills a role. Tim Tebow isn't that.
Tim Tebow is a professional magic maker. That's what he does. He makes magic. He did at every level of football. Makes plays. I don't know if we have that touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas.
Tim Tebow is a professional.
I don't know if we have that, but I doubt it. I don't think we have it.
I ain't watching
I
it.
hope we have it.
Of course we have it.
So long.
Of course we have it. This is the greatest play in NFL history. A dart. Demaryius, he's loose. It's overtime in Denver. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers in a playoff game.
You need to watch this show.
He's
No, I'm not watching it.
gone. I'm rolling on the floor.
Tim Tebow is a professional personality.
He's a professional
Jenny, that's what he is. Jenny, you know it, Jenny.
Look at that throw.
Even Jenny.
I fall for it, though.
I know Jenny. I understand.
Game winner.
There's nothing not to like about the kid.
Nicest guy.
But at the end of the day, Skip, sports is not about likability. Sports is about doability. And he's not doing it.
Charisma.
Well,
It's about box office. What do you think would happen if Tim Tebow were a Met? Would jersey sales go up? Help me out.
Skip, are you trying to win games or do you want to sell jerseys?
Both.
So let me ask you a question.
Both.
Let me ask you a question. If Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls, but he was a jerk, you look at him any different? Because at the end of the day, everybody says, we don't need choir boys, we're trying to win games.
Yeah.
Come on, Skip.
Well, you hate him already. How could you hate him anymore?
I didn't see you. No.
He's like the nicest guy who ever walked into a locker room, and you hate him.
This, Skip, you and I, we're out of that millennial. Because that's what millennials see. Truth telling is hate. I tell you the truth. Oh, you hating. I say, Jenny, I like apples and oranges. Oh, you hating on bananas and plums. That ain't what I said. I said I like apples and oranges.
I hear that.
I like the way millennials think.
No, I don't.
Yep.
They're irrational.
I think I am a millennial, so you guys are.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I mean,
it's automatic. If you says, okay, I don't like this. Well, you don't. Well, why? Why can't just like this and not hate that?
I told you from the start, the day we started this show back in 2016, we began to discuss this potential possibility because he had just had his audition right before we started on September 6th of 2016. And I said, it's obviously a long shot.
How
I think
long?
I might even said long shot. But this guy, I give a shot. And all of a sudden, he's still at it. He's risen to AAA, and you're starting to get a little nervous.
I ain't get nervous.
Because he's right on track.
Potential. Michael, I had a coach tell me, say, son, you know what potential is?
Yeah.
Means you ain't done it yet.
Yeah, and then he got married fairly recently,
just
and I thought,
a
you
month
know
ago.
what? Is that going to end his baseball career? Because she's going to say, I don't want you riding buses.
Hold on. Jenny, hold on. Mike Trout got married. And he
Wait. She's there
Riding
for the AAA.
buses?
Mike Trout. Hold on. Did Mike Trout come up in the minors? I'm trying to figure out who didn't come up in the minors. Name the player that didn't go spend no time in the minors.
Get married. It's better or worse. She's going to have to hang out for those AAA
I think
games.
she's going to have to take some bus rides.
I mean, okay, I get it. Guys like Griffey might not spend but a couple of weeks in the minors, but they went down.
Yep.
Is he Griffey? Is he
No,
Mike
he's
Trout?
not Griffey. He is Tim Tebow, and don't you forget,
I ain't forgot
he's
it.
still alive and well.
Oh, Skip.
Alive and swinging.
I understand his Q factor. But see, the Q factor has to do with people recognition or likability. It got nothing to do with your ability to play a sport. Because at the end of the day, sports is about doing. See, you can...
How did he get the Q factor? He got it from making big plays in big games.
College. He came up college. And I get it. I get all that. You know, he's a likable guy. He's a likable guy. But Skip, the thing that I love most about sports